So this is the last liturgy before at the end of this liturgical year. The next liturgy this afternoon at 4 o'clock is the beginning of Advent, a new liturgical year. And so the Church gives us this gospel saying, okay, be aware, be ready, do not let the day catch you by surprise like a trap. And he says, do not let your hearts become drowsy from carousing and drunkenness. And I'm looking out at this crowd and I can say, most likely most of you are not having a trouble with going around carousing and drunkenness and things like that. But he also says, and the anxieties of daily life. That, I think, we might struggle with some more. The cares of daily life, the anxieties of daily life. And the Lord says, do you trust me? Keep your eyes fixed on me. You know, a lot of times the day-to-day things can really wear us down. I don't remember the whole prayer, but I remember there was a prayer and it was in rhyme, which was great. It'd help you remember, even though I can't remember. This beautiful prayer about the daily crosses, and it says it's called the splinters of the cross. You know, so if only I could have like one big cross that would be able, then I'd be able to bear it. But these little splinters that keep getting into me day by day, and the little things, those kind of wear me down. And that's the anxieties of daily life. The cares of life can weigh us down and make us weary of heart. I think there are a couple different things we can do to help relieve those anxieties from making us weary. One is remembering the fidelities of the Lord. Remembering the fidelities of the Lord. And I'm not just talking about, going back and looking and saying, look what he did for Israel and getting them out of Egypt, or look what he did for the saints throughout the centuries. But I'm talking about in our own lives personally. And this is where a journal can be really helpful, because we can write down, here are the struggles, here are the questions I've had, and then look back and say, oh, God answered that. He took care of that. I thought there was no way through, or I didn't know what was going to happen, and he took care of it. Look at how faithful God has been to me in the past. Of course, he will be faithful to me now. Even though this is a struggle, even though this is a cross, even though I seem to get worn down, God is always providing. He is a providential Father. He's caring for me. What's been coming to me over and over and over again, just because of my own struggle with it, is what's that first sin? In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve didn't trust God's providence, that he would take care of them. They thought they had to take into their hands their own fulfillment, their own actualization, their own comfort, whatever it may be. They reached out and grabbed the fruit and ate it. They didn't trust that God would provide for their needs and their wants. And so often in our lives, we don't trust that God is going to provide for us. We have to look back and say, but look how faithful he has been. And when we remember his fidelities, then we can say, okay, he's going to be faithful again. He will never abandon me because he loves me. So that's one thing, is to remember the fidelities of the Lord. The second thing is when we look at our vocations and the struggles of our vocational life, of taking care of this and dealing with this and cleaning that and shopping for this and all the things that can wear us down and make us go crazy. If we look and we say, this is my path to heaven. This is how God is making me holy, with the vocation that is in front of me. A lot of times, sometimes we'll have this dream of something else. Oh, if only I could be a missionary somewhere, or some other great hardships, then I'd just be a heroic virtue or something like that. But our heroic virtue comes in living our vocation. Saying, okay, here's the daily grind, the daily sufferings, the struggles with our own bodies as they don't work the way they used to as we get older. We say, I'm recognizing in this my path to heaven. So I say, this is when I embrace this cross for love of God, for love of the people around me. This is my path to heaven. Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from carousing and drunkenness and from the anxieties of daily life. May we turn to the Lord who provides so beautifully for us and ask Him for that grace to be able to recognize in those daily anxieties, the daily cares that we have to care for in our vocations, this is my path to heaven. Trusting that He is always providing, even when it seems dark, even when it seems hard, even when we can't see how God is moving, we can trust, God, I know you're moving in my life. You love me, and you're taking care of me.